Hey, Mike Acosta coming at you here from the 2010 NAMM show right here at the Roland booth, showing the brand new Roland VP7. This is a really cool vocal processor, which is a derivative of our flagship vocal processor, which is the VP770. More compact and a small size, which is really dedicated for live performance and also for studio use. So as you can see, we have it lined up here with the MV8800 production studio. And since you know the MV8800 can run audio tracks, this is a great little addition to it. If you want to process vocals and kind of come up with different variances and changing chord structures for your remixes, which is the way that I use it, which I find very, very useful. On the VP7, just really quick, give you guys an overview. When you first turn it on, one of the very cool things that I found about it is that it actually has a very cool auto pitch detection mode. As you can see from the interface, there's no menus, there's no sub-menus, it's just very straightforward. Simply push a button, switch the vocoder sound. You get 3 different variations of a vocoder here. And if you actually hold the vocoder button down and press one of the presets below under the human voice, you get another 7 variations of the vocoder in here, which is really cool. So we'll switch back over here. And so let's say when we first turn it on, again, we're not giving it any MIDI. You do have MIDI connection on it, but if we just simply talk into it, you have a nice mix between the dry signal and the actual affected signal. Now, if I was to actually change my pitch, it'll follow right along. So I go ooh, 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 ooh. So again, it's doing auto pitch detection right off the bat. I don't have to play any keys or anything like that. So this is really great for somebody who's just a soloist vocalist that's going to do a live performance or something and no MIDI keyboard is available. They can simply sing into it and it automatically does pitch detection. Now under the vocal designer section, you actually have a duet. So again, if you hit the duet, you basically get a double voice effect. So I'm not a singer, so let's get that out the water right now. If you engage this, you can get and you get the simple duet. Now if we switch it over to Trio 1, Trio 1 gives you, of course, 3 voices, and that'll give you 2 voices up, and you also have a secondary variation of it, which is Trio 2, which gives you 1 up and 1 down. So under Trio 1, we get we go to Trio 2. So those are the different vocal designers, and again, if it was a real singer, not like myself, you can get some really cool, interesting effects. The VP7 also has an input for a foot switch, so if you're doing live performance, you have control over switching the VP7 on and off at specific times when you need it for just the chorus section, and that way you don't get the affected signal the entire time. In the studio aspect now, this is where it gets really interesting, which really is cool for me. If you're remixing a song and you've got the actual acapellas for a song, obviously we know that we can typically change the drums, we can change sounds and stuff for a remix, and pretty much the song always stays in the same key. But if you're simply working with hardware units and you're really not into using software, which a lot of people still are, the VP7 comes in real handy there. What I could do is switch on the vocoder here, and what we'll do is put this on and we'll send some dry signal to it.
Need that picture of you, it's so magical. We'd be so fantastical.
Okay, so we have Lady Gaga's voice there. Now, let's say I want to actually change the key of the song, and this is where the VP7 gets really interesting. I can feed this out one of the multi-outs out of the MV, run it back into the VP7, and take a simple MIDI track here. And if we click on this, you can see that we have some chords programmed in there. And of course, this is way different than what the original song is, and I can program different chord changes and stuff, and simply route the MIDI out to the VP7 as well. Obviously, it has a MIDI input on the back, and this allows you to basically, in real time, change the chord structure of the vocals as it's coming in. So now we'll run that same dry signal, and now we'll play it with the MIDI chords, and we'll bring the signal in.
Got my flash on, it's true. Need that picture of you, it's so magical. We'd be so fantastical. Leather and jeans, Garage glamorous, not sure what it means, but this photo of us, it don't have a price. Ready for those flashing lights, 'cause you know that baby
Okay, so you have that one variation, again, simply pressing a couple of keys, recording it on a MIDI track, and you get a different whole key change on the vocals and stuff. Gives it a whole different emotional feel. Now we also have some really cool talk box effects in the VP7 as well. So we switch it once again, you see the color changes orange, and again we'll go and program some talk box. We'll take another MIDI track, and as you can see in here, we're not doing chords, it's simply one note at a time because we're playing a mono effect. So we'll run it back, run the same vocal right back through it, and now we have
we're the crowd, we're good coming out. Got my flash on, it's true. Need that deep down, it's so magical. Weirdly so fantastical.
again a mix between the wet and dry signal.
Engines, garage glamorous, not sure what it means, but this photo of us, it don't have a price. Ready for those flashing lights.
So now we have a little bit of talk box. Now again, when you're using something like the MV8800, again this is a perfect accompaniment to it. You have 8 tracks of audio recording in here, so now we can get really creative. So let's say I want to do a pass with the chords, doing the vocoder, and we'll record it to an audio track. And then I'll do another pass on another audio track with just the talk box running on it. And then what I can also do is simply add some pads using the same chords. So what I'll do is I'll assign the chords to maybe an external synth module or something, or to my Phantom G for that matter, and have it play the strings using the same chords that I used on the vocals. And now you can get some strings like this. Some strings and pads mixed together. So you see we got that. So now let's play the vocoded section, the talk box, and the pads back together, and we'll add a little bit of drums from the MV, and now you have a complete different remix on this.
We are the crowd, we're good coming out. Got my flash on, it's true. Need that picture of you, it's so magical. Weirdly so fantastical. Leather engines, garage glamorous, not sure what it means, but this photo of us, it don't have a price. Ready for those flashing lights, 'cause you know that baby
So again, getting very interesting effects with the VP7. Again, you can use it in a live situation to create harmonies and background parts for you if you're kind of just like a solo artist. The VP7 also has a stereo 1/8" mini input on the back, and you can actually connect your iPod to it or some other sort of MP3 player to bring in your backing tracks. So again, if you're just a one-man show or a one-lady show, you can play your iPod, have the backing tracks there, sing along, use the foot switch to trigger the harmony parts, and you're all set to go for a live performance. In the studio, you can see that you can automatically feed acapellas into this, change it around. You can get really cool talk box effects on it as well. You can play MIDI in real time. So again, if I wanted to get a little bit of a talk box thing going, we can simply select a MIDI track on here, choose the talk box sound. Again, choose another different vocoder type.
just work it, make it, do it, make it all master, make it stronger. Work it, make it, do it, make it all master, make it stronger.
So again, doing a bunch of different cool vocoded things on here. It's really cool. If you have an MV8800, a Phantom G, it's the perfect accompaniment to it with the audio track capabilities on both machines. The all new vocal processor from Roland, the VP7.